Hey guys! It's been a while. It's been months that I've been on here live. Yeah, and I just want to hop on. It literally just popped to mind as I was about to write a blog post. Hang on, I should just chat and talk. So this week is super exciting for me. I'm actually flying out in 2 days up north in WA into a company recreation center where I'm going to be facilitating a few holistic health workshops and yoga and movement classes and a few little talks, which I'm really excited about. And I had a few months of sort of just doing this inward work behind the scenes and haven't actually done anything along those lines. So that's the first time around this season again, which is going to be really exciting. And my focus is going to be holistic stress management and work-thrive balance, which I'm holding a workshop on. And preparing for this weekend has gotten me really passionate about, holistic stress management and how everything really does come back to stress. It's something that's so dear to my heart. Like how, I reckon that if you want to become your highest self and anything is there that's interfering with you being in balance and being in your fullest alignment and therefore being in your ultimate optimal health and state of thriving and so forth, it's due to stress. And the stats these days and the science is actually showing that stress is number one root cause globally of chronic disease and imbalances that really, if you look back, didn't exist hundreds of years ago, like 150 years ago even. I guess before the previous two wars. That's just something to elaborate on for hours anyways. But our ancestors about 100 of years ago, they got just about as much information as we get within a day today in their whole lifetime, which is crazy because we're just so connected through social media, the internet, like all this, and it all means a lot of connectivity and opportunity that has never been there before, like the ability to connect with each other globally, to take things to the next level, to scale bigger, to have a way bigger positive impact and reach so many people, which is amazing. And it creates new jobs and opportunities and all sorts. But at the same time, it's also a strain on on human health, really. That's what the stats are showing. Our lifestyle these days, and it's not just the internet and social media, it's in general how we live. Like our first world societies are so focused on performance, on achievements and success. There's this one very kind of linear view on what success is and what it looks like, and then we're very quick on trying to adopt this image that's portrayed to us by society, by those people on our Instagram feed, by this person over there. They're doing it this way, so that must be the right way. I should do it the same. Or they are so busy working so much, I should do the same. You know what I'm talking about? Like these days we're basically living in fight and flight mode 24/7 without even realizing. That's our normal, things like migraines, normal, back pain, normal, mental health issues, normal. I think it's about 1 out of 2 people now in the US as well as in Australia that suffer or have suffered on some stage in their life from some sort of mental health imbalance. And they are things that don't have to be there at all. It's all lifestyle inflicted. It's all, diet, mindset, lifestyle, nutrition, exercise, and so forth. It's all self-inflicted, and I'm talking about humanity as a collective. And anyway, so preparing the work for the weekend on this theme just got me so fired up again and so passionate about that. I really do believe everything does come back to stress. Like I have shared my own story, or many of you may know my story a little while back, very much elaborated on it. But anyways, like I went through a lot of stress myself and, in very early childhood, and so many people experience the same. Like, it can be traumatic childhood experiences, mental abuse, emotional, physical abuse. That's all a form of stress. Stress in motherhood or before motherhood, like miscarriages, a form of stress, toxic relationships, a form of stress. getting a chronic disease like cancer, diabetes, a form of stress, having toxic relationships within your families and so forth. It's all stress. Working 80-hour weeks, stress. Traveling to work every day, stress. Being surrounded by city noise or by social media and by screens and lights and this and that, stress. It's all sort of different avenues and different directions it's coming from, but it all is the same thing. Stress is the same trigger for anything that's throwing us out of balance, which I find is so important to look at. And the thing is that, we don't just have to surrender to that, and that's what it is, 21st century living, we don't have another chance. That's not true at all. Like I said, it's lifestyle inflicted, and we can make the conscious choice of managing our stress and eliminating our stress through the way we live and treat ourselves, and the rituals and habits we adopt and bring in. And it's determined by if we choose activities and foods and influences in our life that benefit us, or whether we choose some that will just aggravate us and therefore sort of blow up, expand the stress even more, and sort of creating this downward spiral. And I think that these days I'm really passionate about all things. I guide people with personal development, self-development. It's a massive industry these days. There's so much amazing stuff out there, but there's also a lot of overstimulation out there, which again is another thing to talk about. But, I find so many people are focusing on just this one aspect of self-development these days, like going to motivational speaker workshop events, things, which is all great and fantastic. But really the foundation is our health. It's our physical, not just physical, but it's our physical well-being, because our physical, mental, and emotional health works synergistically for us to really be in a state or to really realize this capability of manifesting and realizing our full potential. Not just knowing that we could do better, but actually having the access to doing better, to not being limited, to really thrive on a holistic level. And so, I find it does start with you are what you absorb, I like to say, instead of you are what you eat, because you are what you absorb in any way. Like any information is food. Anything we consume is food in a way, whether it's the food on your plate, whether it's information, whether it's experiences you're living through and they are shaping new belief systems and so forth. But anyways, they are all so synergistically connected, and if one thing is off, it's going to push the other ones out of balance as well, like a domino effect. And you can either, if your physical health is not there, you may be doing your self-development stuff, but there's no physical health. It's going to lead you to eating more sugar, eating more fats, eating all the fast food, not being conscious about your food choices and exercise, and maybe already having a disease if this doesn't lead to a disease. And then eventually this pain, the suffering, the stress you're inflicting on yourself through that is going to impact your mental state, and then it's going to impact your emotional state, and you're just going to do this one. But if you start to consciously be aware of your health choices that you make in your daily life, not as a task, but as an integration of what you do already, then you can create this upward spiral. And, if you even start to just clean up your diet, if you start to exercise, if you start to stop eating sugars and processed crap and things like that, it's actually going to clear your body on a cellular level. It's going to detoxify your body, right? And so the clearer and purer your body is, the more of a clear channel you are for spirit, soul, your higher self to access you and to flow through, right? For life force to flow through. So the more clear and detoxified you are, the more open your channels are. All those, physical and metaphysical channels, all those energetic ones going through. And the more open those channels are, the more you are in tune with yourself, the more you are within your own alignment, and that will then in turn lead to making more of the right choices in other areas of life as well. May that be your, relationships, realizing that you've outgrown certain, social circles that don't really serve you anymore, or your job, or finally realizing that what's been your hobby for 10 years actually is your passion, it's your calling, and you're following that. And, or just really establishing and getting clear on your boundaries and starting to communicate that and starting to up your standards. just by having looked after your health in the first place, which then clears your body, which then clears your mind, which then clears your emotions or balances your emotions. And it's this amazing upward spiral which you can start and through which you make yourself available to your full potential. Yeah, so I think that's all I'm gonna touch on in this video. I just want to quickly check in, show my face again, which has been a while, and talk about these things that I'm super passionate about. And yeah, so you'll definitely hear more on this front because what I said, stress it can come from so many different angles, and quite often because we are living this life in which being in a stressed state is actually considered normal, if not even achievable in our society, because you're always going to get complimented and looked up to for being super busy, for having achieved so many things, for never stopping. But no one is going to come and give you a certificate or congratulations for, hey, well done, Lena, for laying on the couch and reading your book for 3 days and resting yourself well. Awesome, you. It's not really it's not getting recognized or valued and appreciated the way being under stress does in our society, which is also a big driver for all those stats that are increasing in our health state, mentally, emotionally, physically, actually going down. And it doesn't have to be that way. So be prepared to hear from me more and more on this front of, holistic stress management, which can take so many different angles. And I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you for tuning in and listening to my little rant once again. And I'll see you guys all very soon.